Hello there everyone, and welcome to a new review on the channel. Today we're looking at something incredible and something that I'm surprised has not gotten more reviews of it out there, and that is the Legacy Collection by Peter Turner and Illusionist. This is an amazing collection of mentalism and one that every mentalist should own, with some exceptions. I'll get into all of that and the juicy parts in the review. So let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about the Legacy Collection. Now, I can't really perform the effects of this because there's like over 30 effects in the book. So I can't really, perform them to you, but I will explain to you some of them. So don't worry about that. But essentially what the Legacy Collection is a collection of Peter Turner's best work throughout all of his career. Now, at the beginning, I did say that this is something that is a must-own for most people going into mentalism. However, if you own everything that Peter has put out, if you literally own everything, this will not be new material. This will just be material you already know, just packaged in books, in a beautiful set for you to have on your shelf or for you to be able to carry with you. So that is the if in the purchase of the effect, because these are effects you probably already know of or have already seen from Peter Turner. However, if you don't know all of his work and don't own all of his work, I do think this is a must add to your cart right now, and you'll see why in just a moment. Now, let's talk about where do you buy this, how much it costs, and what you get for your money. So this costs $129 US, okay? This to me is not expensive for what you're getting. You're getting 10 books, okay? You're getting 10 books. So from the $129, you divide that by 10, it comes to $12.99, essentially around like $12.99 per book, okay? Then per book, you get around 3 effects. So you divide it by 3. So it comes at around 4 and like 20 cents per book. So that to me, per effect, it comes like $4 per effect. And these effects are things that Peter has released on Illusionist, on the Illusionist website or in his other projects for much, much more, okay? So you're paying around, I'd say $4 per effect. Now, maybe my math is misconstrued, okay? I'm not a mathematician and I did this off the cuff. So maybe the math is not perfect, but you'll essentially pay around $4 per effect in this book, which all of these effects to me are worth $20 or more easily if they were to be released as downloads on their own, and people would buy them and give them extremely good reviews. So it costs $129. It's available at most magic shops. I got mine from Illusionist, but I know it's available on Vanishing Ink, on Penguin Magic, and on other websites. And what you get are 10 books. So the first thing that you get is this. So you get this hardcover to keep your books. And then you get the books themselves. I'll go over the books and some effects in the books that I really like. And as you can see, I really went through them, I read them, and I did some notes. So the first book that you get is Playing Cards in Mentalism. So as the title suggests, you're getting playing card effects done with playing cards in a mentalist fashion. And in this book, there's 2 really good effects. There's one that uses the invisible deck in an extremely nice way, and it justifies the use of why the card is turned over in the other deck, and it's brilliant. There's another one, which is probably up to date, my second favorite effect of the entire series, which is you have a deck with your spectator, you tell them to think of a card, they literally think of a card, you tell them to remove a card from the deck, you remove a card from the deck. When you turn the cards over, you both have the same card. So for example, if he thought of the Queen of Hearts, you'll have the Queen of Diamonds. And then you reveal that there's actually no other cards in the deck except for those 2 because everything is blank. So think about this. A thought of card is the only card in amongst all of the blank cards, and you manage to both pick out that exact card. Of course, this is how the effect is described. There's a bit more to it, but it's an amazing effect that I think anyone should learn and do. The second book in the series is called Billet Peaks. Again, as the title suggests, it's going to go over billet peaks. There's one billet peak I really liked here, which is a routine called Peekaboo, which is something that he also went over in the How to Read Minds kit, where someone's going to write a name behind your back. You're going to fold the card, give it to them, reveal the name or whatever they wrote in a really super clean fashion. The third book is called Blurred Realities. These are dual reality type of effects. And there's some really good ones here. My favorite one is called The Book of the Fallen version 2. There is, I believe, a performance of this on the Illusionist website and YouTube page, so go check that out. But essentially what the effect is two spectators write two different words on a piece of paper. You then pass the piece of paper to a third spectator. You ask him to look at the two words, think of one of them, and one of them that he can easily imagine the opposite of, and paint a picture of that if he can, and you'll know every single time what that person is thinking of. A brilliant effect. Now, drawing duplications. The best effect out of this entire project, and to me the best drawing duplication of all time, is in this book. This could easily be sold for the price of the entire kit on Zone, okay? I know Control C by Chris Rollins is $200 US, okay? This drawing duplication in this book, I don't know how the one by Chris Rollins works, but I saw the performance, I saw the trailer, and to me, the one in this book, it's the best one you've ever seen. And I saw even on the video, like they do the presentation video on YouTube, people in the comments were like, oh, that was set up, that was fake, you know, that was prepared. I kid you not, it looks that clean and it's that good. And I'm gonna go fast through the other books because I wanna take a moment to talk about this one, because this routine is the best routine almost that I've ever purchased in my life. And I'm not even sugarcoating it. It is one of the best things I've ever seen. It not only gets you a drawing duplication, it gets you 2 hits or 3 hits on information that nobody would have ever known about the spectator. And it's done in such a devious and incredible way. I cannot put it into words. So this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna know the drawing that the person has selected and do a drawing duplication. Everyone in the audience is gonna be aware that the drawing they're thinking of is a random drawing that they thought of in their mind. The spectator is going to admit that on stage or in parlor. You're gonna tell them, is the drawing that you're thinking of made up in your mind? They're gonna say yes. Third of all, you're gonna be able to reveal their zodiac sign. Fourth of all, you're gonna be able to tell them information about themselves that no one would ever know except for the spectators or the really close ones, okay? It is one of the best routines I've ever seen. It uses a lot of principles. It takes a bit of chops to do it, okay? It does use some props. It uses some business cards for you to achieve it, but it doesn't deter from the effect because they're pretty much examined. And yeah, to me, this is worth the entire price of the project. This routine is literally amazing, okay? That's all I have to say about it. I think it's one of the best routines I've ever purchased. Then you have another book, which is Mentalism with Numbers. So classic pin code divinations, number divinations, serial code predictions. Then you have Esoteric Mentalism, which is kind of more psychic type of routines, which are really good. My favorite one is called Getting to Know You, which is one of Peter Turner's most famous routines, which is really, really good. Now I'll just go fast. You have the psychological effects, which are, of course, psych forces and stuff like that. Then you have the biggest book, which is called Propless Mentalism. It has like 2 essays on Propless Mentalism and a few effects on it as well. Then you have Hypnomentalism, which is some of the effects that he published in his brand new release, How to Control Minds. I think 3 of the effects of the set are in this book. And then you have the last one, which is Misc Mentalism, which is just different ideas on mentalism plots and ploys and routines. So that's essentially all you're getting. You're getting a lot of stuff here. And a lot of this stuff is gold and stuff you'll want to perform. Now, I did take a long time on this, and I hope I didn't bore you, but I know it's important for you to know some of the stuff that you're getting. So I did want to make that clear for you. Now, let's get into the rest of the review. And I'll kind of go through it kind of fast because, yeah, you're going to understand why. So what is the difficulty of the effects? The difficulty of the effect ranges, I would say, from intermediate to advanced, okay? It's classic Peter Turner stuff. There's some things here that are easy, okay? Like, for example, the routine with the invisible deck is super easy, okay? It's super, super easy. But most of it, I would say, is intermediate to advanced. So if you're just a beginner mentalist, this is gonna dip your toes into things that you thought you would never be able to do, and you'll be able to learn them. It's gonna take chops. There's some routines here that even I don't dare to perform, okay? Of how ballsy they are. It's typical Peter Turner stuff, but most of this is achievable and doable. It doesn't require much chops, but you do have to learn. So for example, for the psych forces, it's not easy, it's not incredibly hard. You just have to learn the script and prepare yourself if, in case it doesn't work, to have some outs. He does cover that. But most of it, difficulty-wise, I would say is intermediate level, and some of it dips its toes into more advanced, more ballsy plots, and some of it dips its toes into a little bit more easier things. Now, on a side note, before we continue, I do want to mention this. A lot of people have critiqued these books for having bad writing and being basically unreadable. Now, this is, I think, the 4th or 5th batch of these books, and I think they fixed the issue, okay? I work and I study a field. I want to become a teacher, and I'm on my way to becoming a teacher. So all I do is correct essays, read books, write books myself. So I kind of know how to read and spot badly written passages. So I know that was a major complaint during the first release of it, but I think they've corrected the scripts, and in these reprints, the scripts have been corrected of all mistakes, because through all the 10 books, I did not spot a single big mistake that deterred me from reading. So I think they fixed that. So if you saw that complaint running around that these are basically unreadable because of the mistakes, I do think that they fixed that in this newer releases. So I also wanted to just mention that because I know it was a big talking point when the books came out. Now, apart from that, are these practical? Yes. Let me tell you all you need. So if you want to perform every single thing in this book, everything. So let's say you want to do a show with all 30 routines. All you need is a normal deck of cards, an invisible deck, billets, a pen, and maybe a drawing pad for you to do some drawing duplications. Okay? That's all you need. Because most of it just uses billets or playing cards or doesn't use anything at all. It's kind of propless. So it's extremely practical. As long as you learn this, you can literally do 30 routines at an event, okay? So this could probably go for like 3 hours of material. And all you need is 2 decks of cards where one is gimmicked, a pen, a marker, billets, and maybe a drawing pad. That's all you need. And that's all you need. So this is pretty much extremely practical. You don't have to carry around a lot of stuff with you. A lot of it is done verbally, and the props, which are like the billets or the cards, are used as kind of a prediction style effect or as a backup. So you won't even need to carry around a lot with you. So it's extremely, extremely practical. Now, where do you perform this? This is something that's great again. That's great again, because this can be performed literally anywhere. You could do these routine on stage, parlor, walk around, table hopping, anywhere you want. You could do this like pretty much anywhere. Of course, there's some routines that play better in close-up scenarios rather than on stage, and some routines that play better in parlor than in close-up, some routines that play better on stage than in table hopping. There's that, of course. But you'll find routines here that are going to be able to be performed anywhere. Peter Turner performs most of this. If you look at his How to Control Mindset, most of this he performs table hopping at events, at like parties and stuff like that. So it shows how these can be applied to any scenario. So you can literally do these routines pretty much anywhere. So keep that in mind. Lastly, about kind of to wrap up before we go into the positives and negatives, I do think that these will require some work, some of these routines, and you will need to put in the work. So don't think that you're going to read the pages of the trick and then go out to perform it with 100% success. You'll need to put in some work, you'll need to learn subscript. And also, another thing that I really like about the books is, let's say you want to add some things after every effect, there's like a notes section. So you can put some notes of what you want to learn after every effect, or some things that you want to work on, which is really great. And the last thing I want to mention also, before we get into the positive and negatives, is that the books are soft cover. And I've seen some people complain that they split open at the spine and that they're badly made. Now, maybe that's, again, a first issue kind of thing. But as you can see, I literally ran through my books, put post-it notes, ran through them, read them once or twice, and they're still basically brand new, okay? So I think that's also something they kind of fixed maybe during these new releases of the books. So I want you to also keep that in mind. Now, that's all I have to say. Let's go into the positives and the negatives of these effects. So what are the negatives? The negatives are that if you already own most of Peter Turner's work, this is not going to be brand new material. There may be some things here that are new, like the drawing duplication, which I've not seen published anywhere else. So there may be a few, one or two things that are new, but most of it are things that you already know, or you've maybe already purchased from Peter Turner if you follow his work like to the T. So that is one negative. A second negative that I can think about is that maybe if you're not really into mentalism, these type of effects are not for you. That's really me nitpicking, because I don't really have any other negatives for this because of how much I like it and how much I value these books. So that's kind of just all I have to say about the negatives. What are the positives, however? The positives are that these books are extremely well made. They're extremely fun to read. You're getting 30 effects, which comes at around $4 per trick that you're paying if you pay the retail. These are always on sale on Illusionist. Illusionist does like a sale every 2 months. So you can snatch these for like $99 US if you want, even cheaper. So yeah, it's gonna come even cheaper per routine. They're really well made. You get a collector set. It looks really nice. You can put these on your shelf. They're gonna look beautiful. They also have this pattern on the books. So when they're on the shelf, it has like a color pattern, which looks really nice. The books are really well made, and the effects are amazing. They're incredible. That drawing duplication is worth the entire price of the entire asking price. These are really practical. These are things that you're gonna be able to do anywhere, anytime almost. You're gonna learn not only cards, but billets. You're gonna learn everything there is to mentalism. This is literally like a crash course in mentalism, going through every single aspect. It is that amazing. So I do think this is thoroughly worth your money. Let's get into the verdict now. Do I recommend these books? My answer is yes. I honestly recommend this. If, as I said, you already own all of Peter's work, maybe you just want to have all of his work in one easy to access place in a beautiful package. Maybe you want that. And for the price as well, if you get it on sale for $100, this is unbeatable. And maybe you're gonna learn a new thing or two. And yeah, I do think this is thoroughly worth your money. And how do I rate this on 10? Honestly, I give these books a 10. I think this is a must buy, something that is incredibly good and something that is so important to own, because you're getting absolute gold here. This is literally a gold mine. And as I've kept saying, that drawing duplication is literally going into every single magic performances I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. And I'm not even kidding. And for those that watch my reviews, I don't usually rave about products this much, but this is literally going to go into every set I do until the day I stop performing magic. That's how good this is. So I can't give it anything less than a 10. I think this is a brilliant release, one that everyone should own, and I thoroughly recommend it. Thank you everyone for watching. Comment down below if you have any questions. Is there anything I missed? Comment down below. I'll give you my honest answer as much as I can. Like, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in my next one.